Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Listen to the people.
Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. Become a winner with other authors. Hi, I am Dustin Pickering from Parrot Literary Corner. You know me, your noble and honest host, and I've got exciting news for you. Last anthology, Series 1, The Literary Parrot, did such a great job. We want to continue to provide this community service to our viewers and to our contributors to the program. So please get up and get a copy immediately. You know, if you're in this book, you want to get a copy. If you're not in the book, you want to get a copy and see what we're doing. You want to be excited with us. We want you on this program, and we hope to see you sometime soon on The Literary Parrot. You have to get your hands on this copy. It's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful anthology meant just for you. Our past guests have been invited back to contribute yet again to this Series 2. We do this quarterly anthology. We will be doing this after our 200 episode milestone. As of this last quarter, we reached 200 episodes, and past that, get up and get a copy immediately. This is the only Hey everybody, welcome to World Inkers Network. I'm Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host. This is episode number 246. Congratulations to us for reaching at 246 episodes. Today we have a couple of our ambassadors with us, Carlo Parcelli and Eva Petropoulou-Lionoi. How are you guys doing today? I'm glad to see you again.
I'm well. I'm fine.
Excellent. How are you, Eva?
I'm well also. I'm fine, thank you.
That's wonderful to hear from you guys again. So you both have been, Carlo is a co-host with me on the Foreign Policy Review, and both of you have been interviewed on the program, which was formerly the New York Parrot Literary Corner. So I'm curious, let's start with Carlo. You know, how do you feel about when you were being interviewed? Did you feel comfortable, or did you feel like, you know, you could just say, you know, what you're thinking about the arts and talk a little bit about yourself, and, you know, just how did you feel in the interview process? And, you know, was it comfortable for you and enjoyable?
Well, I was glad to do it, and I appreciate the opportunity to do it. I have to say I never feel comfortable doing interviews because I watched Bill DeVault's interview with you last week. I think it was, and he hit some of the notes that I normally would hit in an interview, and that really aren't that positive toward the what poetry the poetry scene that exists now. And I think Bill was stressing the fact that he encounters a lot of people who really don't treat poetry as a vocation, and really haven't taken it as seriously as, say, perhaps he and I have over the many years that we've been doing it. So when it comes to interviews, I'll say just two things briefly. First of all, in the first 40 years of my writing, I did exactly one interview. And that's because my writing at that point was so difficult, yet so fundamental to Western epistemology, that there virtually wasn't anyone that could understand it. So I didn't publish very much. I published 2 books, and one was a very short chapbook, and just did the writing and did the reading and the studying, feeling that it had merit, and sooner or later would find its place. I began to realize I was completely wrong about that. That the people who were actually writing poetry had control over all the means of production, and they weren't going to ever allow me in. They weren't ever going to consider this work. And so when my work changed, that is with what I've talked about many times before, when I switched from a canto style attempt to capture all of Western thought, beginning with the ancient Greeks, in my poetry, and to bring a kind of new interpretation to the Enlightenment experience, especially through science and the sciences. When I ceased doing that and I began doing the David Jones style monologues, which have to be performed, then I began to realize that I had to be out there. Otherwise, I would not only would I be denied doing interviews, but I'd be denied doing performances. Now, I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and the best way I can say characterize the poetry scene here is it's tight-assed. It's sterile. It's really non-existent, and it's not considered important. It's kind of laughed at, and sometimes it's manipulated, like the young woman who did the reading at the inaugural, and who can't write a lick. She's terrible. Now she's young, so maybe she'll improve, but she's just awful. And it's sort of like the patina of how you can be politically maneuvered or manipulated, that influences poetry, especially in this area. So I can't get any readings around here. I'm completely frozen out of every venue that's possible for me here. I'm persona non grata. And you've heard my work, Dustin. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It certainly can compete with the market that's out there. So when it comes to poetry, and I actually, if it hadn't been for Debbie Kilday and Colin Haskins at the Beat, the National International Beat Foundation, picking up on me, I would be a dead letter item completely. But it was there, and they're in Connecticut. It was their largesse that sort of put me in this position to be here today. Otherwise, you wouldn't know about me. So
do you feel like, do you believe World Inkers Network as well as Parrot TV helped promote you a little bit, bring you into the spotlight some with your interviews and your show Foreign Policy Review?
Yes and no, because I think the problem with poetry today is that there's another group I'm associated with. It's a publisher, and he's associated also with the International Beat Poetry Foundation. But there are many poets that he publishes, and the only poems that they've ever read or written are their own poems. They've never even read other people's poetry, and I would say a vast majority have not read poetry seriously at all. So for me, someone who's worked consistently at it for, oh my God, what, over 55 years now. Every day. I've read everything.
Mm-hmm.
And to have this knowledge and to go into a room with them, and on the one hand, when I read, they're like taken aback, and many of them can't even understand it as poetry. Though what I'm basically doing often is something right out of Jonathan Swift or Alexander Pope or Shakespeare, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm absorbing all these voices from the past. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know who Alexander Pope is. I'm surprised that they know who Shakespeare is. So there's a lot of work to be done before I really can benefit from anything, because I'm too profound for the marketplace now.
Mm-hmm.
It is a marketplace.
Right.
It's a fish market and it stinks. And I have to agree with Bill on that. I wholeheartedly. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Bill and I are such close friends. He's worked so hard at what he does, and I've worked hard at what I do. And frankly, I don't think 99% of these people writing should be writing. I think they should give it up and go back to their lives and do something else. If they're
Right.
not going to commit like we've committed, then forget about it.
Right.
And most of them, they don't even have any talent for it. If I have to listen to another poem about Jesus Christ and the Catechism, or my dog dying or something, I'm gonna vomit.
Right. So let's
I
see
don't
what.
need that. I'm too old for it.
Let's
And
move to Eva for a
I'm
little
too old
bit.
to color code it. But I really appreciate what you guys have done for me. So,
Absolutely. It's been wonderful and pleasant with you. And let's move to Eva. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship to poetry and promotion of events, and how World Inkers Network or Parrot TV's Literary Corner has benefited you.
So Dustin, me, as I telling you, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you because I'm Greece, and here we are in the United States, and here they see my interview a lot of people that I know, and authors and poets that they read me, and they say, okay, let's go for it, and they even ask me if I can share your details and etc. etc. And as all the Greek people, we write. We born with that. We have that in the DNA, in our genes. We write. Me, I'm right since I start to have the pen. I'm starting to write a little poem from my mom, the birthday, the Christmas. I was 8 or 9 years old. I was just doing phrases, and in 10, 12, I start the poetry. But as all the people they're writing, and all the people they have a different experience, different personal life, a different environment and societies, I just publish my poetry in 2015. I just say, okay, I will do it. And I have found a publisher here in Greece. In 2015, I published my first book called Waiting for the Love, because I'm like that. I'm very generous. I'm very romantic soul, and I always touch the love not by the sexual way, but the sensual way. And what is the love? For me, love is the energy. What we are doing now here, the interaction is love. What I'm giving to you is love. What you give to us is love. This is my perception about love. It's a big energy that covers all the planet. And if we are positive, and I want the best for you, and you want for the best for me, and I want the best for Carlo, and the Carlo for me, then all that is going to change. This is my perception, my opinion. So I have this little book, Waiting for the Love. And it's going well. We go to 3 presentations, and for me it was amazing because I go to the little cafe at the time, 2015, and there is people that came, and slow by slow, everyone take the book and they just start to read the poem, and they like my poem, and then we became a big family, and at the end we start to think. So for me, this is the best memory I have of my presentation of the book at the 2015. And after, in 2021, I published about before Christmas. In the August, I published a second book, and I call it The Gate of Love. And there is a lot of poetry about what is going on, about the people before the COVID. How was the people? That they was nice, that they was kind, that they cared, that there were a generosity and kindness, a goodness. That was my poetry speak about in this book, because maybe the title is giving a wrong impression to the people. I'm very symbolic, and like for me, all it's love, and without love we cannot exist and walk. So this is my perception. It's an energy. And then I had my interview with you, and I'm very, very glad and I'm thankful, because a lot of people, they saw me and imagined that I had even a proposal from the book fair in the United States. And I present my book there because you had Lauren Carly here.
Oh, yes.
And we met, and she proposed me, we talk, and she told me, yes, you can definitely come with your book. And for me, that was an amazing thing, a miraculous thing. And that's what the literary parrot can do. And it's doing. Bring people together and know about their things, their thoughts, their ideas, their books, their life, and know more about them. And this is a big gift from you guys, and I'm so grateful. And I definitely call all the people, my friends, the authors from On Time Books, that they speak English, they do things in English, my friends from Greek editions, my friends, my authors, friends from all the countries I know, Bangladesh, China, Japan, Italy, United States, Spain, Nepal, Peru. Just come here, get inside, get involved, talk about your book, do the interview, just share what is out there. There is a lot of poets out there. That's true. Carlo says that there is people that they do not know anything about poetry. Me, I'm reading poetry since I'm 12, 13 years. I'm reading Seferis, I'm reading Solomos. It's all the guys, poets, that they won the prize of Nobel. We had two. We had Seferis and Elitis, and we are proud of that. And those are my flag. I'm always go back in the night and I'm reading them. I'm going there and I'm saying what is going on in this period. Because Greece, we had about 400 years occupation from Empire, Turkish, Ottoman. So we lost a lot of our language for 400 years. But we read our poets. We read our ancient Greeks, Sophocles, Aeschylus, Homer, and keep the spirit, and have ideas like freedom and equality and respect and generosity. And that's the poetry I believe, and I believe to the open words, to the open minds, and share the knowledge. It's very important. The progress and the speed of the knowledge. Now we get knowledge from everywhere. Sometimes we don't even know what to do. So many things that are coming. We must filter the good and share with the right people. My opinion is that the literary parrot is doing a right job because you're open, you are leave the people to talk. There is no cut. You respect, and you are just good people. This is what we need to share
I
the
want to
thoughts.
give just a real quick shout out to Sounds of
Yes.
Hearth and Home. She says, I am trying to read more and more, and I can tell that my work is becoming deeper, more multidimensional, less static, and thoughtless. Thanks for Songs of Hearth and Home. Thanks for watching the program today. So, Eva,
Thank you.
you're talking about a lot about the reading experience. So, when World Inkers Network, we're planning everything from a monthly magazine to a yearly academic journal, a quarterly anthology, and general book publication. And hopefully at some point we'll do an annual academic conference at Sheikh Anta Diop University in Senegal. So we're hoping to do seminars and all kinds of interesting things in the future, and to promote literature and to promote the arts and get people dialoguing and networking, as we call ourselves, the World Inkers Network, and it is international. So I definitely am glad we had both you and Carlo to talk with a little bit. So let's go back to Carlo just briefly here, and we'll see what he has to say. I mean, you both of you seem very skeptical of the literary establishment to an extent, and Carlo especially had some very strong thoughts on books and publication, and the monetary side, as well as the intellectual dearth, I guess you could call it, in the publishing world. So what do you think we could do about that? I mean, for instance, like, can you tell us a little bit about your own publication history, and how have you been able to make money off of your books?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no, I've made virtually no money, and the little money I've made, I generally give back to the publisher or give it to someone else. And when I do a reading, if someone's interested in buying it, I just give them to them. I don't have it in me to charge any money for it. I haven't made a significant amount of money in the 55 or 60 years I've been doing this. I would like to say that I really can date myself, because I remember when George Safaris won the Nobel Prize, and I bought a little collection of his books back then. And I also want to give a shout out to Chris Belisario, a Greek poet that I know and am good friends with.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the rest, as far as your question, I'd like to basically address academia too.
Mm-hmm.
I think academia is a great fault here, especially MFA programs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the good poetry. I don't think good poetry is coming out of MFA programs, and I don't think significant or good poetry is being written by the academics, who I very much admire when in their fields of study. I have had Chaucer, Milton, Pound, Eliot scholars that I've been taught by, that I have the highest regard for.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say one thing about this current crop. I'm not that generation that taught me, because they're older, and they stuck to what they were good at, and that was teaching the subject. Spencer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these new academics who think that they can also write poetry, and have set up this system like we talked about, where they block a lot of people who are non-academics from participating in that system. And perhaps one example here is at University of Pennsylvania. They have the Kelly Writer Center, and I have been asking for years for myself or some people I'm close to, other poets I admire, if we could have the opportunity to read there. The guy Phil Rice that runs that will not even respond to my emails, and this is typical. This is typical of the academics. They even with the experience of the Beats, who were anti-academic, and who are now some of the most popular voices taught by academics. even with that experience, when they within their many of their lifetimes, they could see that the enthusiasm was for work outside of academia. They won't allow other poets outside of academia now to participate in the modes of production that they possess, their presses, their reading series, the teaching. I have one friend who's allowed me to teach one or two of his classes. That's about it. And as my experience, I couldn't get a reading on my alma mater if I promised to hang myself after I read, in public. That's how bad it is with these people. So that's another thing. And the exclusionary, the one thing you can say about what you guys are doing is you're not exclusionary. I mean, outside of that, around here, we have cliques. The fact that I never use the personal I never write about my own personal experience. Have not written one line dealing with my own personal experience, because I don't think it's that important, because all I've goddamn done is read and thought my entire life. What do you want to, have a poem about me sitting around reading?
Right.
And that in itself, that I don't kind of expose myself in this kind of pseudo-psychological way, in this kind of empty pseudo-psychological way, has excluded me from the poetry world. Excluded me because I don't think so much of myself that I write about myself all the time, which is, as far as most people's lives, is boring as hell. I'm excluded. So I don't really have that much good to say about the outside world, and I really appreciate what you're doing. Matiu, picking up on the quality of my work. It's just so unusual and so appreciated on my part. I can't express it enough.
We're going to take a brief break, and we'll come right back in just a second. Let's watch this wonderful promotional video. World Inkers Network is promoting Paris Blue. It's an excellent book. Let's take a look at this. It's a love story, first love and the grips of first love. An artistic story from a choir director. We're watching a promotional video for Paris Blue. Sounds like a very interesting story. We'll have this author on pretty soon, in a couple of weeks. And love at first sight, and a very, very passionate love story to embrace. This story will invoke a lot of emotion, I'm sure. It's a true fairy tale memoir with a dark underbelly about the tenacious grip of first love. And it was October 5th, released by Kohler Brooks, and is now available for pre-order. And I'm sure October 5th is past. Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. Become a winner with other authors at World Inkers Printing and Publishing. Give us a shot. We will surely finish you. Welcome back to World Inkers Network, episode 246, and I'm Dustin Pickering. World Inkers Network is planning a yearly academic journal, a monthly magazine, a quarterly anthology, as we've had the last two, The Literary Parrot, those excellent anthologies. I'm sure a lot of you have taken a look at and read some of the work in those anthologies. Literary Parrot series 1 and 2. I believe both of you have been in and one or the other of them. So let's see what did you guys think of the Literary Parrot? What did you think, Eva, of the Literary Parrot? Did you find that to be an excellent edition of poetry, or have you had a chance to look at it?
I love it, and I had friends that they bought it because unfortunately mine it's still in the due to the COVID restrictions. They just keep it now. It's more than 3 weeks, and I'm waiting. But I had a lot of people that they showed to me photos, and I like the book. I like the presentation. It's very good. It gives the space, and the people, the poets, and the poems are really beautiful and interesting because we see a lot of different countries and opinions. And me, I like the open mind. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell to Carlo something, that I'm not waiting the opportunity. In Greece, as every place, there is a lot of clique and friends between friends that they are keep doing their thing in the poetry. Basically, in the poetry, when you go to a publisher and you say, I have my poetry, and he said, you don't sell. It's the answer you get. So even if you have some opinion or some friends that they tell you you are good, it's interesting, go for it. You go for a publisher and he's going to be negative since the beginning, or he's going to ask so much money. So I'm going one step beyond. That means that I never expect someone to tell me go for it from the publisher. I can say that in Greece, I speak to a few publishers, or I don't speak at all now. I have people that they see me how I'm flying. Since 5 years, I'm flying to the abroad. I'm creating bridges. When I get inside the poem officially, when I start share my poems, because I was writing and I was just reading me and my friends. I was very skeptical to go out there because I'm an author for children's literature for 20 years now, and they know me like that. So I say, okay, I'm going to share my poetry, and I'm sharing my poetry, and 2 months after, a very good friend, a Colombian poetess and translator, she just picked my poem, Before You Exist, and she make me known in all the Spanish countries, Colombia, Bolivia, Peru, Mexico, and she keeps translating my poems, and they tell me they love your poetry. So from one moment to another, I just became, if you want to say, famous in a Colombia. And after she tell me, I love your poetry, you have to write because you have something that we cannot find. As I tell you, my perception and my opinion about love, it's in another level, and about generosity and goodness and being thankful for what we have now. And after the 2 years, we have very difficult in Greece. For 1 year, we were just inside, isolated the home. We cannot go out. So for 1 year, I keep creating bridges and share poetry and translate poems from other countries. And now I have a very, very big, I don't know how to say, network, friends, because I love them and my heart is with them, and we share everything. And I can speak to a Mexico poet like I speak to a Spanish poet, like I speak to United States poet, like I have a Korean poet, and we exchange our ideas. And there is also events that is going on. Like I told you before, we are going to have events in March, a big festival with poetry. So you are all invited to send your poems. We are open minds. we just do a virtual festival, and we are there. We are out there. There is no between the friends. We just listen to the poets what they have to do, because in ancient Greek, when they want to know about a country or to conquer a country, they send the poems. First, they send the poems because they could talk, they could say the words, and they could see. And so how we have Hesiodos, a very ancient Greek, that he starts to write what he see, and now we know what is going on the countries 2000 BC or 4000 BC. For me, the poetry and the poems are very important, and there is no rejection or no rejected poet. In Greece, poetry is coming for the verb pio, pieo. Pio means I create. Everyone has the right to create, creation. We are creators of our lives. We have different experience. We are here to let our footprints for the next generation. All the people are needed for me. All the poets are needed. And Carlo, don't worry with me. Your poetry is going to be translated in Korean. I tell you that.
No, it's not translatable. It's not translatable.
Don't worry.
It's not translatable. It's not.
Don't worry. At least you're going to be the festival with us in Mexico. I hope.
I doubt that too. But
I know Risa. Risa is a very good friend. I know her.
Well, ask her about me. Ask her about me, and she'll tell you.
She's very powerful. What she's doing,
she'll tell you.
Good.
She'll disabuse you of this notion.
And I know her. That's we are in different cities. I'm in Athens, and she's in another city, and we have a different cycle of friends. But I know her sister, and I know her work, and they're all doing exceptional. And I know the beat. I know all of you, and I already saw you. Because when Risa is doing something, she just share with pages we are inside, and I follow, and I congratulate also all of you.
Thanks.
So we're definitely glad to be publishing and working out a lot of things for the literary community here at World Inkers Network, and we're glad you guys joined us on the show today. We had Eva and Carlo today, and you guys, if you'd like to say something in words of encouragement to help, encourage viewers to maybe who want to publish with us or want to be interviewed by us, what would you like to say to the viewers today?
Can I go for and tell something?
Sure.
Everything I say is coming from my heart. I have only my heart. I know nobody, and I'm nothing. I'm not the important academic, or I don't know what in my country. But what I learned, it's like when someone gives you the space to show who you are grateful. And I am grateful, and I hope, and I wish, and I invite all my friends to come and to be in interview with Dustin Pickering for the Literary Parrot Corner, and to try to send their work, their manuscript, their questions. It's very important to be there, to be outside, to be present. It's very important what is going on now. What you are doing, Dustin, and meet you, it's very important, because the ideas, they are not cut. We are flying, and we have wings. Poetry, it's instant. We have a message to go through, to say it, and we say it loud. Me, I'm not interested for politics. This is not my issue. I'm interested for being kind, free of speech, and go out there, circulate, fly, travel. That's what I want. I want to be in my poetry. Someone that is in United States or in France or in Spain can read it, because if I'm not going to the university, that means that I'm not a stupid person. We have to stop with the categories. I categorize that, I categorize this, and I tell you this, and I tell you that. The life out there, it's very difficult. We know that. So we are here at least to make people happy and to believe in their dreams. Get involved, write. Writing is a therapy. A lot of people during the COVID, they get suicide, they get depressed, they get lonely, they get angry because they had nobody to talk or nobody to understand what they want. Get out there and speak, write. And if it's good, because you have to filter the writing. If it's good, and if it's light, then publish it. Go to the Literary Parrot and publish it. And I trust you, Dustin. I saw how you work. I saw that you're looking for the quality. And I congratulate you because I read your poetry also. And
Thank you.
I believe we must be united in this globe, in this world, in the earth. There is no plan B. We are here to make the difference. So just get there.
We want to get publishing with. Thank you so much. Both of you, thank you very much for joining us on World Inkers Network today. Thank you, Carlo and Eva. You guys are wonderful people and wonderful writers and wonderful poets. So thanks for joining us today. And we're World Inkers Network. We went from the New York Parrot Literary Corner to World Inkers Network officially this year in January 1st. We're looking for guests on the program. If you would like to be a guest, we'd love to have you. So get in touch with me at literarycorner@newyorkparrot.com. And that's running right along the bottom of the screen there. Send your bio and a headshot and samples of your work, about 2 poems or an excerpt from your book. If you're an actor or actress, model, or so forth, we'd love to hear from you as well. Or a musician, we'd love to hear from musicians as well. And let's support our endeavors as well through PayPal. PayPal.me/NYParrot is a great way to send money both internationally to us as well as in the United States where we're located. And we also have an office in Senegal. So, World Inkers Network, we're looking to start a revolution in publishing and in the arts and in academia. We hope to accomplish this soon with your help. Everybody out there, viewership. So please donate. It's very urgent that we get some money and be able to continue promoting our programming as well as other artists. So if you like our program, please donate. This has been World Inkers Network, episode 246. I hope you enjoyed our discussion today. And if you're interested in publishing with us, get in touch. info.worldinkers@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And while you're standing there right now watching this program, pick up your pen, get to writing. Have a great afternoon. World Inkers, you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer. This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com.